The MythBusters are stepping out for science.
We want some destruction.
Can you destroy a bridge using just the rhythm of marching feet? Smile with confidence.
We're using the ones that were on the top of the toilet.
But is there more in those bristles than meets the eye?
Sit down more!
And ski boat or rowboat? Jamie and Adam test the myth of human horsepower. Who are the MythBusters?
Am I missing an eyebrow?
Adam Savage.
I always enjoyed seeing Adam in pain.
Oh! And Jamie Heineman.
Jamie wants a big boom.
Between them, more than 30 years special effects experience.
Feel kind of sexy.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
All right, Adam, so we're standing in front of this bridge and we're wearing silly hats. What are we doing?
Well, this one is called Break Step Bridge, and it's actually at least a couple hundred years old. The idea behind it is that soldiers marching in formation in sync across the bridge might actually destroy that bridge.
The myth says the problem happens if soldiers' marching rhythm matches the bridge's natural vibrations. They amplify the wobble, increasing pressure on the structure. According to folklorist Heather Joseph Witham, history records that as a dangerous combination.
The first instance we know of this occurring was April 14th in 1831. The Broughton Suspension Bridge spanned the River Irwell in Manchester, England. There was a group of military men marching across this bridge when a pin collapsed and a chain broke and part of the bridge actually collapsed into the river.
The rhythmic marching was blamed, and signs like this one on the Albert Bridge started to appear. Break step, soldier, or break the bridge was the warning. Don't believe it? A similar thing happened to the Tacoma Narrows Bridge in 1940. A particular wind set the whole structure vibrating, and once it started, it couldn't stop till it collapsed.
Adam, do you have any experience building a bridge?
No, but that hasn't ever stopped me before.
So here's the plan. The guys will build a bridge and a miniature army to walk on it. Then they'll see if the rhythm of the footsteps can make it vibrate. If it works, the vibrating should get bigger and bigger, like a kid bouncing on a trampoline. Fueled by a heady mix of ignorance and enthusiasm, Adam the Mythbuster becomes Adam the Bridge Builder.
They're making a suspension bridge. Oh, okay.
Never one to think small. Adam's first ever bridge will be 60 feet long and 6 feet high, a mini Golden Gate. Essentially, he's making long, flat, strong boxes. He'll need 6 exactly the same to join end to end to make the roadbed.
And I've only got to make 12 of these, in like a day. I've done more work in less time.
He's also been known to do less work in more time, but today he's making progress.
That's pretty good. Take the extra time on the front, save it on the back. Life is good.
Do you remember the guy in the beret and the mustache on that? Well, that's me. Yeah.
Life's good for Jamie, too. He's on the hunt for a piece of equipment, and it turns out the guys who make it are fans of the show. Better still, they send a whole box full in no time.
Wow.
Jamie has a new toy.
This is a brand spanking new Kinetrol actuator. These would normally open and close a valve on, maybe in some industrial process.
Only Jamie could get excited about a piece of industrial equipment. But then only Jamie could see its potential to make little marching robots.
Put a crossbar on here with a shoe on the end of each crossbar, and so as this thing swings back and forth like this, the shoes will go up and down, and this thing will go up and down, and that's our walking mechanism.
If all goes well, it won't be long before Jamie's hearing the pitter-patter of little feet in army boots.
There's a lot of unknowns here. Nothing we're not used to on MythBusters.
What is known is Adam's finished the 6 sections of road deck. Now, the 2 uprights, which stand at either end of the bridge. Not bad for a first attempt. 60 feet of steel.
This is not comfortable in the least.
Good job, by the way. This is a nice piece of work. This is like one of those Marine Corps obstacle courses, right? It's like, how fast can you?
But I could do it faster than that.
I don't think
Not
so.
much faster.
Many people feel it's a bad idea to train around jagged steel edges. But all Adam is concerned about is making this thing twang like the world's longest guitar string.
The goal is to get this bridge to tune it to about 3 hertz, which is about 3 beats per second, which is about a soldier's marching cadence. And then once we get that, we put our frequency oscillator on it, basically a big weight that hits the bridge at the right moment, boom, 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 and we'll start to watch the bridge go, wiggy every time we hit it. Should be pretty cool. Damn it. Sorry. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm really sorry.
No, you cut.
Yeah, I'm cut.
It's easy to forget this is risky work. One slip and bloodshed's not far behind.
It just went through the outer layer.
Only a flesh wound, he says. Adam showing a bit of British stiff upper lip. Of course, not everything the Brits do is so rigid. In June of 2000, the new Millennium Pedestrian Bridge across the Thames in London got off to a very shaky start.
It seems to be swaying.
Not that bad, is it?
Well, it feels bad to me. It feels weak.
The bridge had to be closed for fear it would collapse. Turns out it had a slight sideways wobble, and crowds subconsciously swayed with that, making it worse. It eventually reopened after modifications. Back at Mythbusting HQ, Jamie's army is falling in. They might not look much now, all plastic helmets and 2 big boots, but to test this myth, Drill Sergeant Heineman will turn this spare parts outfit into a well-drilled marching machine.
Building the bridge.
Adam is soldiering on despite his injured arm. The MythBusters backlot is about to become a theme park with the addition of a 60-foot suspension bridge. 2 main cables span the length of the bridge. Lighter lines run down to the road deck. The whole thing tensioned tight as a drum.
We may just be able to walk on this puppy.
Drum roll, please. Adam is a happy camper. It seemed a bridge too far, but it wasn't.
I have to say this is one of the more satisfying things I've ever built.
Now, in true MythBusters fashion, the only thing left to do is see if it can be shaken to pieces by Jamie's soldiers. But first, there's some other busting to do. It's the unspeakable myth. The one you just can't flush away.
There's poo everywhere.
Is there more than toothpaste on that brush?
There's actually a bunch of myths around and surrounding bathrooms and cleanliness and ideas of what the clean parts of our house are. But actually, I think the main idea behind this myth is that the bristles of a wet toothbrush make an ideal collection surface for things like airborne bacteria.
There's no rosy way to say this, so let's cut to the chase. What we're talking about here is fecal coliform bacteria. The bacteria that lives, well, you know where.
The belief is that you shouldn't leave your toothbrush in the bathroom, and particularly not too close to the toilet, because there's all sorts of bacteria floating in the air, which ends up on your toothbrush and therefore in your mouth.
Adam, you know, before we even start this experiment, we should probably do a simple test to see whether the toilet actually produces an aerosol.
You mean like whether when it's flushing it actually makes little droplets and vapor that go everywhere?
Exactly.
Some color in the water, and Adam's got any flying droplets covered.
Ready?
Okay, go. Oh, I see some drops. All right, well, there you go. The aerosol part of the myth is definitely true.
Yeah, these are probably the least of our worries because we can see these and they're big, heavy drops. What we should be concerned about, I think, are the ones that we don't see, that are little tiny things that may be going who knows where.
But can those tiny droplets drift all the way to your toothbrush? The MythBusters aim to find out.
Well, do we have a plan?
Of course we have a plan. This is MythBusters. The reason we've got so many toothbrushes here is because we want to lay out a really broad test pattern to see if distance from the toilet, orientation to the toilet, and height from the toilet affect the number of fecal coliforms that we can find when we test the toothbrushes.
Adam has clearly given this whole dirty toothbrush thing an awful lot of thought. In no time, he's fitting out the bathroom in the MythBusters workshop.
I'm going to use this PVC and some fittings to make a pair of toothbrush racks. And so the rig begins.
Forget fancy blueprints. He's making it up as he goes along. It only has to last for a month.
Ow! It's not pretty, but it'll do.
What the hell have you done to my bathroom?
We are going to set up 24 toothbrushes in this, and every morning we'll have a protocol. And we will each be responsible to take each toothbrush, wash it in distilled water so we don't cross-contaminate, and put the wet toothbrush back. Then there will also be 2 controlled toothbrushes on top of the toilet that we will brush our teeth with, and at the end of a month we will check and do fecal coliform tests on the toothbrushes and see which ones have gathered the most.
Next up, the brushes. The guys will wash their hands with antibacterial soap every time before they touch them to prevent possible contamination. And importantly for the experiment, this bathroom will stay open for business. A chart will keep track of exactly how much business is getting done.
What do you think 1, 2, and 3 would be? 1 would be...
Urine.
2 would be...
Fecal matter.
And 3?
I don't know, what's number 3?
Let's say perhaps an aerated approach to dispersing fecal matter.
For a breath of fresh air, 2 more brushes will be kept in the office, away from the bathroom.
Jamie, these are our external controls. Uncontaminated toothbrushes outside of all the experimental conditions. We'll rub these with a little toothpaste and rinse them with the water as well.
If fecal coliform bacteria are found out here, there'll be embarrassed looks all round. It'll take a month, but the MythBusters hope to answer a question that lurks in every bathroom. Is that toothbrush safe? Heard the one about the rowboat and the water skier?
Sit down more! I'm straight!
Stanford University has. If they pull this off, they'll become myth-busting immortals.
This is Apollo 13, baby. In Houston, we don't have a problem.
Big guy, what is the one we're doing today?
We have a new sport. It's called row skiing.
Row skiing.
Yeah, you water ski behind a rowboat.
So what, are we gonna get out a little dinghy rowboat? I'm gonna start paddling as fast as I can while you try and get up on water skis?
Actually, it's skiing behind a rowing 8. Now that's an 8-person rowing shell. The question is, can we get up on a plane with water skis behind a boat like that?
So we're gonna ask 8 strapping young lads in the prime of life to yank our sorry asses out of the water?
That's the gist of it.
Skiing behind a rowboat? Who ever heard of such a thing? Folklorist Heather Joseph Witham says this myth was made up by rowers for rowers.
You're not going to have construction workers talking about a rowing 8 or water skiing, but you're going to have rowers talking about this, probably not even water skiers, because this functions for rowers as a way to comment on what they're doing, as a way for them to comment upon their sport. It's saying, look how fast we manly men can go.
The fast, manly men at the Stanford University's varsity rowing team have confidently agreed to put their egos on the line to test this one.
Picking up the water.
These boats are $30,000 worth of carbon fiber rocket ship.
That's up.
With crew on board, it weighs nearly a ton. But the acceleration isn't like a motorboat. It surges and sinks with every stroke.
It is about accelerating only when the blade actually enters the water. Once it's out of the water, it's all poetry and love sonnets. Everything is cool and easy. Once the blade goes back in, it's dark and violent thoughts.
Sam, stay focused.
A racing crew will be having those dark and violent thoughts about 40 times a minute. Going fast, they'll generate a boat speed of about 15 miles an hour. Skiing is normally done at 20 or more.
Have you heard the myth about water skiers being pulled behind these boats?
Yeah, I think it's urban legend, but we're out to prove them wrong.
You think it can happen?
I don't know, man. These guys got legs like steel and arms like pipes. I think they can do it.
Even at top speed, they're slow by skiing standards. And that's before they add the drag of the skier. But failure is not a word in this coach's vocabulary.
You know, I got a feeling that good things are going to happen. I think we might have a new business. We might be pulling people here. These workouts might be a good way for us to go faster.
Amazing to watch. Made me feel pretty fat and old.
They're so in sync, and there's so much testosterone flowing on those boats. You can just feel it. And, you know, we give them a real challenge, like get this guy up out of the water. They're going to be, you know, just scrambling for it. It's going to be fun to watch.
Now the MythBusters have a big problem. The athletes might be up to the challenge, but neither Jamie nor Adam knows how to ski.
You must be Willie. Adam.
Nice to meet you. Hi, Willie.
They don't just need a fast teacher, they need the water ski terminator.
Good. So you guys are skiing now?
We're here for some lessons, yeah.
Okay. We're gonna get the lessons going here.
This will be an unusual session for Willie. He'll be teaching them how to go slow. He was a champion skier in Germany before moving to America and turning pro.
Go about 1,500 RPMs to establish the minimum speed for him to ski at. This would be about the same in terms of speed, what it feels for him behind the rowboat. Jamie, move on and out on the boom.
Beginners start on a boom, not a rope.
When the boat pulls, keep your shoulders back. Don't let them come forward. Ready? Yeah.
This is why I wanted Jamie to go first.
Made the mistake in bending his arms. He got to keep his arms straight consistently. Arms straight. Keep them straight. Slowly stand up. Okay. Get your shoulders up, Jamie. Stand tall. Get your shoulders up. There you go.
Jamie's a fast learner, but he's going more than 20 miles an hour. The water feels solid.
I'm going to slow you down to the speed behind the rolling boat. 15 miles per hour.
When Willie drops the speed, staying upright gets harder.
Jamie, slowly sit down. Get in the squat. Sit down. Sit down. More. Sit down more. Arms straight. Okay. Slowly stand up. Yeah. Get your shoulders up, Jamie. There you go. Very nice.
Perhaps it's just fear of upsetting Willie, but Jamie is skiing like a natural. Turns out he's just as good on the rope.
That felt pretty good. We did get it down pretty slow. I think we just nudged 10 miles an hour, which is, my guess is probably the minimum that we can really reasonably expect to stay up on the surface of the water. The slower you go, the harder it is.
Now it's Adam's turn.
Never had a pair of big old paddles strapped to my feet before. We'll see how much of a fool I make of myself. Hopefully a lot.
In fact, he does just fine. He's on the rope in a jiffy. Unfortunately, his legs give out a jiffy after that.
I think Adam is one tired cookie.
Even with the falls, Jamie and Adam have Willie's seal of approval. They're ready for the challenge.
I do believe that both skiers you have here, Jamie and Adam, can do this. I think the only difficulty that I can think of is for the crew to generate enough speed initially to get him out of the water.
I tell you, Jamie can have this one. He can water ski behind that boat. I'm not in shape. You know, it's all this like upper thigh and lower back power that you've got to do, just like halfway in this crouch. And a couple times I just dropped because I had no more strength.
I think if the guys are actually physically capable of pulling me through the water, that I can do it. You know, it's just a question of how fast they can get going with that kind of load. It's all up to those Stanford, you know, butch guys.
Stanford will get its chance. But first, there's that other nasty myth to attend to. The MythBusters have become slaves to dental hygiene. Every morning, they carefully wash their hands, put toothpaste on each of 24 brushes, and rinse them off again using distilled water. Lesson 1. Never give Adam a squirt gun.
Hey! Oh, sorry, Paul.
Next, they clean their teeth using 2 very special brushes.
We're using the ones that were on the top of the toilet, the closest ones.
At the end of the month, they'll test the brushes for fecal coliform bacteria. If nothing else, they've busted the myth that television is a glamorous industry. Today, it's toilet bowl close-ups.
Mate, you've reached the pinnacle of your career.
It couldn't get any better than this, could it?
Toilets and cleanliness are the subject of many an urban legend, including this one.
There's a young couple honeymooning somewhere in the Caribbean, and they come back to their room and they see that it's been ransacked. They've been burgled of just about everything. There's only 2 things remaining: their camera and their toothbrushes. So they go out and they purchase new clothes and other necessities, and they end up having a fantastic time. So they get home and they develop their film. And upon looking at the different photographs, they get to one that, what's that? And they notice that one thief has taken a picture of the other thief mooning, and the picture is of his backside with their toothbrushes sticking out.
Jamie and Adam aren't swallowing any of this myth. But they are professionals, and they're on the scent of something big.
You know, given that I've had toothbrushes sitting near toilets for nigh on 30 years at this point, 35 years, it doesn't bother me at all.
It's a long, boring, dirty job ahead. But if anyone's qualified for this sort of work, it's the MythBusters. Jamie Heineman has one of the world's most unusual day jobs.
Nike wanted us to take a shoe and turn it into a motorcycle, a radio-controlled motorcycle that looked like something that somebody would actually build. And it was to illustrate how fast the shoe is, because it's an athletic shoe.
His company makes special effects props for ads and movies.
We had to start off with pre-existing motorcycles and check them out and learn how they were put together. And then we modified that kind of thing and ended up actually pretty much building from scratch an entire motorcycle mechanism to fit within the shoe. They wanted us to run it on AstroTurf. With this thing even having even a small pebble is like running over a speed bump. That's what I live for. That's what I enjoy doing. If I have time off, I'm down here at the shop. You know, sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night giggling with some idea, and I just come down, turn the music up, and all of a sudden I've got this thing that nobody ever thought of before, or didn't exist before.
Now the guys are using the same ingenuity when it comes to testing the break step bridge. But seeing as no one would let them wreck a real bridge, Adam has built one himself. And Jamie's built, well, he's built these things. Not just one, but 12 little dudes. Custom-made stompers, whose mission is to shake this bridge to death. It certainly got the neighbors talking.
So Ed, have you heard the story about the break step bridge?
Yes, I have.
What have you heard?
Well, I've heard that there was a battalion of men, soldiers, walking across the bridge. The bridge was supposed to have wobbled and tumbled.
That's what we're going to try and replicate here.
It's great. It's great.
The plan is to hook the soldiers up to an air compressor, normally used to power a jackhammer. Jamie's little guys should start marching. If they get the speed right, that should set the bridge vibrating.
They're going to launch these things. It may like flip the whole bridge over or something with the first turn on of the switch.
There's no way these are going to flip my bridge. Not even close.
This was built to last.
Okay, let down.
Maybe it's not indestructible after all.
All right, cool. At least we're finding all the weak points. All right.
A few repairs, and the bridge is over its troubled waters. And now they're ready to wreck it.
I say we go for it.
Okay. You're the bridge builder.
Power on. Remember, Jamie's worried the force could tip the bridge over.
Jamie's made a doo-wop group, not a battalion of soldiers. It's like the California Raisins.
The boys are looking a little wimpy. Seems Jamie's not feeding them enough air from the compressor.
This has to have 2 hoses on it.
Hey. Seems that Jamie didn't really inspect the equipment with any real Heinemann eyeball before testing the compressor.
Okay, here we go.
This time, there should be less doo-wop and more destruction.
Now we're talking.
They've got plenty of power now, but the soldiers aren't perfectly in time. They're not getting the single regular vibration through the bridge called for in the myth. Instead, those boots are just smashing Adam's road deck to pieces.
This is bothering me.
Well, sorry.
I wish you'd thought about that, because it's just like people are going to watch this, is going to start to smash up the stuff without it moving, and people are going to be like, what the f*** are you telling us?
To get the timing exactly right, Jamie will have to individually adjust the airflow to each of his soldiers. It's a fiddly process, and fiddly is not Adam's strong suit.
I have to say that actually at the very start of this, Jamie and I had a big argument about whether or not to do this electrically or pneumatically with air. And I strongly suggested that we not use air. I explained it to him in great detail, and he decided to ignore a good portion of it.
I'm pleased that the actuators are definitely doing what we needed. They were the right choice for this job, and they'll certainly go as fast or as slow as we need to get them to go. I think the biggest problem is not my little soldiers, it's the bridge.
There's blame in the air. But it's not always easy to destroy a bridge. In a master stroke of forward planning, this one in North Carolina was completed just before a dam was due to flood the valley. So, gathered around a very small table, the authorities decided to knock it down. First, they piled on huge weights. That only resulted in an amazing new use for animated arrows. So, they called in the Air Force, but the Flyboys were having an off day. So was the artillery, come to that. Finally, mines did the trick in spectacular fashion. Adam and Jamie are desperate to destroy their bridge with a bucking bronco vibration that shakes it to bits.
When we hit the resonance of the bridge going up and down with them will be extremely rhythmic and will get bigger every time. And it'll actually be pretty catastrophic.
Catastrophic destruction is the desired outcome for most MythBusters experiments. So, for the third and final time, Jamie's army is ready for combat.
All right, Jamie. Nice and slow.
The troop is marching its metal heart out, but it can't match the frequency of the bridge. There's no wave of vibration rolling through the roadbed. Something's got to give. They've broken the bridge, but only through sledgehammer power, not sweet harmonic vibration.
All my cables held.
Yeah, it's these things are starting to
yeah, look,
working.
the whole thing parallelogrammed.
Yeah.
That's where it failed.
These things appear to me that we were just beating on the thing. And while the beating was in a certain rhythm, I don't see the bridge responding to it in that rhythm.
Jamie's army will be sent home in disgrace. But like the two last soldiers left out in the jungle, the MythBusters refuse to accept defeat. Jamie is already planning another monster robot to attack the bridge. They might have lost the battle, but later in the show, they will resume the break-step bridge war.
I think I could get this bridge back up and running in half a day.
Well, looks like we're not quite done, but it was fun to see these guys pound away. They were kind of cute, weren't they?
They were very cute. Cute for science.
There's absolutely nothing cute about the toothbrush surprise.
I'd like to point out the difference between my toothbrush and Jamie's toothbrush. Bring it up. Jamie's is neat and perfect. Mine is absolutely trashed. I don't know what that says.
The only good news, this is the last day before the brushes will be tested.
I get them wet, and then I foam the toothpaste on, and then I rinse them out. We could do a myth about how fast paint dries.
For the last month, they've been testing the myth that microscopic fecal coliforms can waft from your toilet onto your toothbrush when you flush. A month is a long time for this kind of work.
Watch every action-packed second as water and toothpaste meet in a fecal coliform farm of total destruction.
To see if there really is something to worry about, the MythBusters have called on expert microbiologist Dr. Joanne Engel. She's going to subject the MythBusters bathroom to more scrutiny than is strictly desirable.
So I'm taking the toothbrush and I'm spreading it on the auger here, so if there's a lot of bacteria on here, it'll grow. And then I'm also dipping it into this bacterial broth. And again, if there's just even a couple of bacteria on here, it'll grow overnight after I incubate these in a nice warm oven.
Every single toothbrush is sampled.
These are the ones that we've actually been using to brush our teeth.
It's been a very busy bathroom. But there's also the 2 controls kept out in the kitchen.
This is the first time either of these toothbrushes has been in the bathroom.
Okay. But they've been brushed with,
Yes.
right?
They've undergone the same treatment.
But I'm going to incubate them in a 37-degree oven overnight, and if there are bacteria on here, we should be able to see them.
The whole gang is relieved to finally be getting out of that little bathroom. And soon, they'll know for sure if their toothbrushes hold an unwelcome surprise. The MythBusters are ready for the water ski challenge. Can you ski behind a rowing 8?
So you ready?
There's more than a myth on the line this morning. Stanford University has volunteered its best crew for the job. Their reputation is at stake, though Coach is playing it cool.
With the expert crew that MythBusters has provided, I believe that there's no way we can fail.
First things first, these perfect, fragile rowing shells don't come standard with a ski rope. The MythBusters have got to tie one on without tearing a hole in the boat.
If we run a line of thin, like high-strength cord to each one of these outriggers times 8, that's more than enough distributed load across the whole boat, and you ought to be able to water ski all day behind it.
All day, huh?
It's only your thighs that are going to give out, buddy.
By distributing the load over the 8 riggers, Adam will minimize the strain on the boat and the rowers.
For the most part, these guys won't even be able to see this rig. It won't affect their rowing at all. $30,000 per boat. We don't want to put a nick in the darn thing.
That's the ski rope taken care of. But that's the easy part. The bare minimum speed required to pull Jamie out of the water is 10 miles an hour. In a race, a crew can reach 15, but Jamie's drag is sure to slow them down.
It would certainly help if I weighed a lot less than I do. I weigh about 170, 180, and you know, if I weighed 100 pounds, then I'm sure it'd be easier on them, but that's why we came to Stanford.
Another problem for Jamie is, unlike a speedboat, the power here won't be constant. It will surge with each stroke, pulling him off balance. Coach has a strategy.
You're going to have to just be the walk-on guy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just withstand the herky-jerky. It's going to whip you.
Yeah, I know. I've got to dampen it.
Remember, for Jamie and Adam, this is just another myth. But for Stanford, it's a matter of honor.
And just sit up. Don't think length. Think connection of hips and straight arm cable and draw. Let's have the boat just tug them a little bit.
Suddenly, Jamie's being dragged into something bigger than he realized. It's too late for second thoughts. This is about sporting glory or national televised failure. And there are no excuses.
Explanations did not get the man on the moon, and it will not get this MythBuster out of the water. Okay? This is Apollo 13, baby. In Houston, we don't have a problem. Get ready. Attention. Go! Go! Quicker! Wait up! Ho! Ho! Hey! Hey! Stop blowing! If you're not pulling, stop! Jiminy Jack Christmas. These guys are still wrong.
So close. He was up, but couldn't hold on with the surge. This might just be possible.
Jamie, man, that was beautiful.
It was working.
You think you can get it going?
It's just in a state of constant, almost out of the water.
Right.
It's the hardest thing that a skier can do, I think.
Well, you think you're good for another go?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Nice lock on, big dog. That was all you. That was all you. We got to be quicker with the second stroke or longer with the first stroke.
It's just going to be up to me to maintain it, I think.
Sam, same thing that you guys just did.
So, Jamie Big Dog Heineman prepares to battle the surge again. The guys in the engine room have proved they've got the muscle to get him up. He can't let them down.
Attention! Go! Stay up. Come on, dog. Stay up. Come on, big dog. Stay up. Yeah! Go! Bring it up! Bring it up! Boys! Jeez, we had him.
It's close, but still no cigar. These Stanford guys won't settle for near enough. Jamie will ski even if it kills him.
Power was there. I was having trouble dealing with the surginess.
Try and put the weight back when that surge hits you, so you got a little more hip and power into it, because it's gonna surge.
Yeah, that wasn't bad for the first 2 runs, though.
No, well, we ain't done yet. We're pulling your ass out. You're gonna be doing this thing without a wetsuit and the beret and glasses on if I can have my way. Bring it up, guys. Let's pull this boy out of the water.
Tiny, man, that was twice as good as last time. You think you can do it twice as good as that?
I'll keep trying.
Just need like a good 30-second run.
Come to the steer. Come to the steer.
This is the third and final attempt. Coach can smell something special in the air.
Stay tough, all right? Stay tough. They're enjoying it. It's like you guys are right on the cusp of both meeting together at a higher plane. Looks good. I want you to put him on a ride that he won't forget. So once you get him up, keep him up and let's get his skin tone a little bit fearful, a little white. Let's scare him. Jam! Jam on it. Let's do something that's never been done. Here we go. Attention! Go!
He's up and he's skiing.
Nicely done, Jamie! Yeah!
Keep it going, big dogs! Keep it going, big dogs! From that boat! From that boat! From that boat!
It's not pretty. Jamie's fighting every surge, but they've done it.
Nice job, big dog! Yeah, guys! Yeah! Nice job!
Jamie's run lasted nearly 40 seconds.
I'm pleased as punch. That worked better than I'd ever hoped for. The fact that I could do this says that it ain't as ridiculous at all as we thought. Yeah, it was a workout. I was breathing hard after that. It's like, whoa, whoa.
Good job.
Stanford's finest have prevailed and proved this weird myth really is possible.
Never underestimate young, strong MythBusters. One of those good things about youth is they don't know obstacles. You to man, or as we say, YDM. YDM.
Flush with success, the men now have to see the woman. The toothbrush surprise results are in.
Did we actually find any fecal coliform on the toothbrushes?
Well, we did, but in fact, all the toothbrushes.
That'll leave a bad taste in your mouth, but the slides don't lie. Those little pink dots are fecal coliforms found on the brushes, and it made no difference how near or far they were from the toilet.
Can we say that the exposure to the bathroom or to the air contaminated these with a small amount of fecal coliform?
So that'd be one interpretation, but recall that you also exposed these guys to distilled water and some toothpaste, and they got handled a little bit. So it could have also come from other sources as well.
But brace yourself, folks, there's more. Remember those control toothbrushes kept outside the bathroom.
There was also fecal coliform on our controls, which were nowhere near the bathroom.
That's right. That's these guys here. So they have some pink colonies on them too.
Unpleasant as it seems, fecal coliforms are virtually an unavoidable part of daily living. But it's not all bad news.
So, you know, this is perhaps the most critical question. Should the American toothbrushing public be worried about our results that there's fecal coliform on their toothbrushes?
No, I don't think they should be. It's a very low level, and as you can see, we're all happy and healthy standing here and been exposed to that.
Easy for her to say. Adam and Jamie have just learned a valuable lesson. Some myths are best left unanswered.
You know, we put our bodies on the line a lot on this show, but brushing my teeth with fecal coliform for a month, that goes just a little bit farther than I really wanted to go.
There's poo everywhere. What are we gonna do?
The MythBusters are rebuilding the Break Step Bridge.
We weren't really happy with the collapse of the bridge the first time on the Break Step Bridge, so I'm putting it back together, and we're going to try it a second time, a little more scientifically perhaps.
The science of this myth is the regular rhythmic footfalls of marching soldiers can resonate within a bridge, causing it to collapse. And the challenge is to induce a regular vibration that gets bigger with every beat, till the whole thing shakes itself apart. Wind caused a similar thing to happen in a famous collapse at the Tacoma Narrows. So far, the MythBusters' attempts with little marching soldiers failed. So instead, Jamie's making one big heavy one.
That's starting to be pretty cool. That's we're getting a nice, controllable harmonic out of this thing. I think we have what we need to work with.
Could this be the monster that will destroy the bridge?
The mechanical arrangement on the soldiers was such that it was a little more messy. This thing, I think, will be able to isolate what exactly is going on by being able to watch just this.
We've got this fairly large wave, but we want to hit that wave exactly at the perfect time each time it comes back. And that's what it is to match a harmonic. So if the timing's even a little bit off, we won't be correct at all.
So, in the name of inducing wanton destruction, the MythBusters lay it on the line one more time.
A little faster, maybe? That's too fast. Slower. Yeah, you see how it got canceled out? We had something there for a second. Go back and... That's really close.
Believe it or not, that tiny little wobble is more success than they got last time. But they can't seem to turn that ripple into a tsunami that will wreck the bridge.
And we'll get a lot more reaction with more weight on it.
All right, let's try it then.
Ah, the old MythBusters motto, when in doubt, add something heavy. Now bear in mind, Adam has bled for this bridge. It was big, complicated, and time-consuming. It's his pride and joy, and he really wants this to work.
Let's go. Faster. Oh!
Once again, the bridge has failed before any real vibration got going. All that hard work has come to nothing. Adam's taking it quite well. Best just stand back for this.
Who wants some destruction?
Feel better now?
I do feel better now.
Good for you.
The bridge is dead. Adam killed it. For all their time and effort, they couldn't replicate the myth. Maybe this one just never happened.
My thinking on this would be, given your average platoon of soldiers and your average large suspension bridge, there's no danger they pose to the bridge. I'd say the myth is totally busted.
It would have to be that they were so close to the overloading weight of the bridge to begin with to create that kind of force that I think it is truly a myth.
Excellent. Let's pack this puppy up. I'm tired of busting myths today.
Okay.